knuckles behind my head. You know, let me do it to somebody, and can I borrow your brother? Just so you can watch this. I don't want to get hit on. Watch this. Come up close so you can see. Turn around so everybody can check out. Elbow. Straight under the trachea, the chin. This hand like a knife blade. Over this. Knuckles behind his head. Not like this. Behind his head. The reason is, bring your hand up and just pull my hand off. Look. Now look. Bring your hand up and pull it up. It's behind his neck. Knuckles behind his neck. Knuckles into his head. This way. You see cops doing this all day long. Now, I could put him to sleep, but the guy on the bottom just doesn't know it because he's untrained. He could reach up and pull this hand right up. So I want to lock this hand into position. I want to put it here. Now here, I can talk to him. There's nothing he can do. This fight is done. It's over. He can't do a thing to me. Now, could he hit me in the face? Yes. But one thing you guys got to know about strikes. This, if I'm close, he's pissed, but it ain't hurting him. It's not going to knock him out. It's a rabbit punch. For me to KO this guy, I got to put something behind him, my whole body behind him. So little rabbit punches like that, he's gonna get up and kick the shit out of me if I do that, but it's not really gonna KO him. So this, even if he were to take swings at my head, you know, it's gonna hurt me. I may end up with a bruise on my forehead, but he's gonna go to sleep. So this is what we have to effectively employ in jiu-jitsu when you get to this position. So jump down there. Choke. No. Go back down onto your knees. Remember, I don't want you to try and lift me up off the ground at all. Don't push me in any direction. I want your elbows to come together, your bottom elbow to go straight into my sternum, and I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale, expand your lungs. Where you're pressing, your elbows coming this way, your lungs are pressing this way.
There you go.
Inhale. It's close. You're very close. Hit that again. Now, see, you're putting all your weight on top of me? Bring your elbows together. This elbow and this elbow together. This one. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. It's a simple little change in technique, as you guys know from whatever martial art you're studying. An effective technique and a failure of a technique can be minuscule. Just like whenever you see something on video, you see, like, for example, a grappling position, and it looks like, lay down. Down the other way so I can see. Head this way. For example, an arm lock. You guys see arm bars on TV when you watch the UFC. By the way, I need to see this. Where can we see it better?
My house.
Good. Okay, so this looks like an arm bar, right? Now, you guys that train, from this position, if I'm going to finish, am I doing everything right? Am I doing anything wrong? What am I doing? Anybody? Who said that? Get up here. You're the judo guy. Yeah. Okay, fucking shut up. You train. Come on in here. Exactly. First of all, look, I'm going to give you guys a little explanation. If I arm lock right here, if my knees aren't spread low, his shoulder is on the floor. His shoulder's on the ground. So look, if I were to arm lock him, look how low his arm is. Relax it. Look, I've extended it all the way. I can't finish him from here, right? What I want to do is I want to get the arm in a perfect position to hyperextend his joint, right? So this is how I effectively change an arm lock. A, I'm squeezing my thighs together. Make my grip, I have a figure four. I'm going to plant this on my forearm here. Make your hand, grip your hands together so I can't arm lock it. There you go. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to relax my thighs. I'm going to pull his shoulder off the ground. Now I'm going to re-pinch. Now when I arm lock, I go.
Oh.
Look where it finishes his arm. Here. It's a very difference between doing that and doing this. Whereas like you finish and look, I can put it on, look at that. It's on the ground. It's not doing a thing. So there's tiny little differences when you see it on TV. You think, man, I can just put my leg over his head and arm lock. You're like, oh, my head tapping. Fuck, jiu-jitsu sucks. It doesn't work. You know, there's little tiny little details in all of these positions that really come with mad hours. And it's just like seat time for a race driver. The more you do it, the more you develop an efficiency and an economy of movement. It's like the first time you ever hit a heavy bag, 1 3-minute round, you're like, fuck. You're just gassed because you've never done it before. It's like the efficiency of stroke when you swim. A guy that doesn't know how to swim can go 100 meters and go, oh my God, I'm just gassed, because you have such a lack of economy in your movement, and it's so inefficient. But when you get good at it, you can literally swim all day long. You're like, whatever. It's not because you have great cardio. It's just because you're so efficient at the movement. Boxers, you know, you look at some of the best, Floyd Mayweather, you know, he's rotating, it's all on his back leg and everything. 20 minutes, he's not breaking a sweat. But if you've never thrown a punch before, it's so inefficient. You know, you swing and you're gassed. I'll give you an example. My first jiu-jitsu tournament in a gi, I was holding my competitor's gi like this, so strong that this hand fell asleep, man. And he wasn't trying to get away. It's not like I had to move him and drag him. I was simply grabbing the kimono. But I was so tripped out and nervous, I was just holding on to the gi so strong. I started to get my forearm pumped, like motocross guys get. It's the same thing. Now, when you're good at it, you know, you're holding somebody in. Until they do something, you don't really put any strength behind it, you know? You develop an economy of movement with every single position. And that comes with long, long mat hours. Everything that you see on TV that you look like, man, that'd be easy, I could hit that every day. Just like you see guys choking like this. It's not easy. Technically, once you learn it, wow, it's an on-off switch. But if you don't know how to choke somebody, you can be back there all day long, and all you're doing is squeezing the neck. And you may get a panic tap out of a guy on the street. Because make no mistake, from a guy on the street that doesn't know how to fight, this shit's scary. Dude's got a hold of your neck, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Literally. But if a guy doesn't know how to finish it, for example, one thing that I know in jiu-jitsu, I have to position my opponent in the easiest way where I can submit him, right? And one thing that I know how to do, he can put his hands down at his side, I can choke him like this. Now one thing that we know, this is very easy for him to defend, but what does he have to do? Hands have to come away from his hips, right? Now, it's a game of chess. I made a move knowing exactly where his arms are going to go. Now, if he doesn't move, I can squeeze his carotid and I can choke him. But it's very easy for him to defend that, right? So jiu-jitsu becomes an array of moves and counter moves, where I do something with foreknowledge of how my opponent is going to counter and defend. Then when he does that, his arms come into play or his legs come into play, then I capitalize on that. For example, when I'm mounted on an opponent, here, he's not protecting his neck or anything, but he's very defending an arm lock. It's very difficult for me to arm lock him here, right? One thing that I can do is I can grab his trap, forearm across the neck. Now what's he going to do? His hands are going to come into play. Quit the choke. Defend the choke. So your hand, bring my forearm. There you go. Look. Now I've trapped his arm because he went to defend the neck. Now his arm is here. Now he's really in danger of getting his arm finished. But I did that knowing that it was going to bring his arm into play. It's very difficult to choke an opponent. Very difficult. If I reach for his collar and I'm looking to finish him, it's very easy for his hands to come into play. But if he brings his hands into play, he risks me isolating his limbs. Once his elbows are away from his hips, if he goes to defend this collar choke, look, now my body is inside his elbow. So I can hold him here, his arm trapped, by keeping my body here. Not necessarily using my arm to keep it trapped, but for your arm. Listen. See, I've already done what's called beating the center line. I want this arm across the center line of my body. Common philosophy in jiu-jitsu. Every time that I want to manipulate, sit on your butt. Every time that I want to manipulate the position of my opponent, there's always two ways. And this holds true in all of martial arts. You need to think about it this way. For example, if I were to arm lock here, here, here. Now look, stay in base, underneath. The arm is across my center line, right? Now how did I do that? I just pulled the arm across. And I can arm lock him here. Here's an arm lock. I just pulled the arm across the center line. But a big strong guy, that's really difficult, right? If you're strong enough, I can't move it. Watch. So he keeps it resisting, but watch what I can do. I can move my body around the arm. Now to keep the same position by moving me as opposed to his elbow. There's two ways to achieve every single position. That goes with striking as well. Your opponent can haphazardly move into perfect range for whatever strike that you fancy. Or you can move yourself into range for that strike. Same thing with grappling and jiu-jitsu. I have two ways to find myself to the left or to the right of his arm. Move my opponent, or keep your opponent in position. So for grappling, you can't evacuate the range. Move myself in relation to my opponent.